Up next on News 7 at 11, no one wants the interstate near their home. Tonight, we'll hear what Montgomery County folks are doing about it. A multiple shooting in California and a multi-million-dollar offer for Tonya Harding.
Clouds on the increase tonight, and after a mild Tuesday, things get a little more nippy midweek.
And in sports, you might want to know how Roanoke expresses relief. Well, try Lev Verdichevsky. He's back in town with the Express, and we'll hear about the local college teams that are going to the big dance.
Stay with us. News 7 at 11 is up next.
Most sub places give you more lettuce and stuff than meat. But at Arby's, their $1.99 hot ham and Swiss sub is loaded with meat, not lettuce. Arby's piles on juicy, fresh sliced ham. Topped with savory melted Swiss and a special sauce, all on a toasted sub roll. Arby's hot ham and Swiss sub. It's a ham thing. Only $1.99 for a limited time, only at Arby's.
No matter how much you know about cars, there are times when you could use a little friendly advice. At Advance Auto Parts, we're trained to answer almost any question about cars, including how to reattach a parking brake retaining spring.
Here comes red-hot rookie Ward Burton burning up the Winston Cup circuit. Let's time the crew as he pulls into the pit. It looks like they're working on Hardy's fried chicken, the chicken with the winning taste.
Hey!
If you've got a taste for racing and great tasting fried chicken, bring your crew and buy an 8-piece Hardy pack for $5.99. And they're out.
What about me?
Hurry in today. Deals like this and Ward Burton move pretty fast.
And at breakfast, start your engine with a 99-cent Hardee's Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit.
This is your hometown station, WDBJ-7.
Good evening. This is News 7 at 11. I'm Jean Jadhun. Montgomery County's Board of Supervisors says it doesn't want I-73 running through the Catawba Valley. Those supervisors passed a resolution against the highway tonight. Some residents say this is only a partial victory. Beth Meyer has more.
Once you pave an area, once you develop it, you cannot take it back.
That's one of the basic arguments behind the citizens' fight against Interstate 73 going through Montgomery County. Some say the highway would not help attract quality businesses to the area. This Montgomery County resident used to live near Interstate 66 in Northern Virginia.
What moved in next to the interstate was gas stations, was convenience stores. It was just basically low-level service industry. We don't need that in Montgomery County.
This motion is recommending that Montgomery County Board of Supervisors express its opposition to the use of the Mount Tabor-Catawba corridor, sometimes labeled Alternative 6.
So you have a new resolution that you want to rescind your old resolution so that you don't want it to go down the Mount Tabor corridor. But what you're going to be in effect saying is put it down through Ellet Valley.
Residents now want any decision on the location of I-73 delayed because many citizens are just getting the facts.
They closed their record on the 18th of February, and people were just starting to get a hold of maps, which they really got from Richmond, not the Salem district.
The Virginia Department of Transportation's second choice for the location of I-73 runs right through Montgomery County. Now citizens must wait to see what route the Virginia Transportation Commission recommends to Washington. Beth Meyer, News 7.
A year of undercover work netted 8 arrests tonight for the Botetourt County Sheriff's Department and the Virginia Game Department. About 20 officers from the two departments made arrests on charges ranging from hunting out of season to drug possession.
We've got officers from our department and from the Game Commission around different places in Botetourt County and other counties trying to pick up the 9 or 10 or so people that we've indicted in this operation.
One team of officers made arrests at Crow Hollow on Carvin's Cove Road. Richard Vai of Troutville and David Hutton and Jeannie Donald of Botetourt County were arrested on game and drug charges. Kelly says undercover agents were used after residents complained of illegal hunting activity near Carvin's Cove.
This has been a constant problem for us in that it's located in such a way as it's hard for us to get to, hard for us to patrol, and we just had a problem in this area for a good number of years. And this was the first opportunity we've had to really make an impact here.
Okay. Kelly says a similar operation in Augusta County resulted in 6 arrests yesterday. 3 people are dead and 2 others wounded after a gunman opened fire at a California electronics plant and then took his own life. Scores of workers scrambled for cover when the shooting broke out. A sheriff's deputy says the motive is unclear. Another high-ranking Clinton administration officials resigned. Associate Attorney General Webster Hubbell quit amid allegations of possible wrongdoing. Regina Blakely reports.
Hubbell leaves the number 3 position at the Justice Department due to an internal investigation into his billing practices as a partner at the Little Rock Rose law firm, where he practiced with Mrs. Clinton before coming to Washington. In a written statement, Hubbell says he leaves because his family is being harmed, adding the distraction would interfere with his service at Justice. Hubbell has denied any wrongdoing. Hubbell, a former Little Rock mayor and Chief Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court, was a key liaison between the White House and the Justice Department, a close personal friend to both the Clintons. And while Hubbell's departure may not be connected to Whitewater, the timing is less than perfect.
He strongly feels that he will be vindicated, but it's going to take some time for him to do it, and that he shouldn't be working at a public job while he's doing that.
And I think he's going to be greatly missed, and just personally as a friend, I'm thinking a lot about him and his family.
Earlier, in tightly controlled interviews with Time and Newsweek magazine, she broke her silence about Whitewater. In acknowledging mistakes and how the White House has handled the growing controversy, she denied any wrongdoing. Saying Whitewater has been blown out of proportion, the First Lady admitted she has, quote, been pulled kicking and screaming to the conclusion that in entering public life, you give up a zone of privacy. Regina Blakely, CBS News, the White House.
It appears Senator Bob Packwood will relinquish his diaries. Packwood says he will drop his fight against the court order to hand over diaries, tapes, and transcripts. Packwood is under investigation for alleged sexual misconduct. Still to come on News 7, Chuck Robb says he wants to run a campaign on the issues. And we'll tell you why 400 workers go out on strike in Danville.
And Gene, on the outside, it started out to be kind of a cloudy day, then it cleared up, plenty of sunshine, and now the clouds are moving back in once again. Fast-moving frontal zones around our country this evening. But first, here's the view of the buds of spring. Going to be out shortly. 58 the high in Roanoke, 41 the morning low, up to 53 in Radford with a morning low of 34 degrees. Galax tapped out at 49, Danville at 62, Martinsville 61. Just a trace of rainfall in the last 24 hours. More on the forecast coming up shortly.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Carilion Health System and by WDBJ-7.
Want a great lawn and garden at a price that's really down to earth? Announcing the new Better Homes and Gardens Garden Center at Walmart. We've combined the quality and experience of Better Homes and Gardens with the always low prices at Walmart to give you the best of both worlds. You'll find knowledgeable lawn and garden associates, quality plants and products, and an information center with all kinds of helpful gardening tips.
If you want a great lawn and garden at a price you can afford, now you know where to go.
Every day, doctors, nurses, and other health professionals are working to make people well. But every day, some insurance companies find those people, reduce their benefits, jack up rates, or even drop their coverage. The president's approach makes those insurance practices illegal. Everybody would be covered with guaranteed affordable insurance. Everybody, every day. Some insurance companies oppose real health care reform, but it wasn't designed for them. It was designed for you.
Senator Chuck Robb says he has never run from a fight, and today he defended his record as he launched his bid for another term in the U.S. Senate.
I'm proud to represent Virginia in the Senate of the United States, and I'd like to remain your senator for another 6 years.
Robb began his day in downtown Roanoke, where he touted his accomplishments in the Senate and the governor's office. While a recent letter to party leaders has renewed questions about his personal life, Robb said he intends to run a campaign based on other issues.
Jobs of the past. Some of the things I talked about today are the things that are going to make a difference in people's lives and are going to be the criteria upon which I hope they'll make decisions, because those are the kinds of decisions that are going to affect them rather than any preoccupation with other issues.
Even Robb's supporters acknowledge that questions about his personal life will linger, but they hope his attempts to clear the air will clear the way for a victory in the Democratic primary and ultimately the general election. Diane Whited struggled through tears as she described to a Montgomery County jury her suffering from what she calls a wrongful hysterectomy. Whited is suing Blacksburg gynecologists David Meanke and William Eisenhower for $2 million. Tracy Altizer reports.
In 1989, Diane Whited reported for what was to have been outpatient exploratory surgery at Montgomery Regional Hospital. She hoped to find out what was causing her chronic severe pelvic pain. Whited signed a consent form because she says Dr. Meanke had assured her he would leave her reproductive organs intact unless he discovered a life-threatening disease.
Dr. Meanke absolutely denies that. She never came to him for any life-threatening condition. She came to him because she was having constant pelvic pain. And that's what he was treating her for. There was never any thought that she had a life-threatening condition.
Eskridge says Meanke and Eisenhower agreed during surgery that Whited's uterus was enlarged and her problems would persist over time. But the defense claims pathology reports and expert witnesses will prove Whited's uterus was not abnormal and her condition could have been treated.
In their doctor's own notes, own typewritten notes, own handwritten notes, that this uterus was of normal size all the way up until the lawsuit was filed.
Montgomery Regional Hospital was a defendant in the case until just within the last couple of weeks. Whited dropped that part of the complaint because the doctors are not employed by the hospital. They simply have privileges there. The 5-man, 2-woman jury is not expected to get the case until Wednesday. Tracy Altizer, News 7, Christiansburg.
1,100 Volvo GM workers will vote Sunday whether to ratify a new contract. Volvo GM and the United Auto Workers reached a tentative agreement yesterday. The previous 3-year contract was due to expire last Friday night. The two sides averted a strike by agreeing to allow union workers to continue working under the same terms on a day-to-day basis. Neither side is commenting on details of the tentative contract. About 400 Danville garment workers hit the street today with picket signs. Contract negotiations broke down over the weekend between the American Clothing and Textile Workers and Healthtex Incorporated.
When we left the table, we were open to have our job security reached, but the company didn't agree to that, so that's where we're waiting on them now. It's their move.
Union officials say the parent company, Pennsylvania-based Vanity Fair, has a history of buying companies for their brand names and then closing down the union shops and contracting out the labor.
So I guess where they can get cheap labor, that's where they go.
Greensboro-based Healthtex says it's hopeful of a speedy resolution to the strike in Danville and at 2 other plants in the U.S. Still to come on News 7, Danville's Dibrow Brothers takes a new approach to attract a merger, and a Japanese promoter says he wants to help Tonya Harding wrestle with her future.
Problem. You notice your yard is not as green as your neighbor's. Solution. Go to Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse, because Lowe's knows healthy plants are what you want. So we buy them from only the top growers. And you get all of them at Lowe's guaranteed lowest prices. Plus, your trees and shrubs are protected by our 1-year guarantee. So where can you go to be the envy of the neighborhood? Lowe's. Because Lowe's knows gardening.
It's the area's first big racing shootout of the year, and your hometown station wants you to be there. You could win tickets to the Miller Genuine Draft 500 and be in the drawing for the grand prize package. To enter, send a postcard with your name, address, and daytime phone number to WDBJ-7 Racing, Post Office Box 7, Roanoke, Virginia, 24022. We'll announce the winners on News 7 Morning. Deadline to enter is Wednesday, March 16th. For more details, watch News 7 Morning, weekdays at 6 on your hometown station, WDBJ-7.
A year after being left at the altar, Danville-based Dibrow Brothers may renew its attempts to merge with a fellow tobacco processor in North Carolina. Dibrow bought 6% of Standard Commercial Corporation's outstanding common stock. David Beagley, an analyst for Scott and Stringfellow, says Dibble wants to let Standard Commercial know it's still serious about making a deal. He says it's unlikely Dibble will attempt a hostile takeover by purchasing a major portion of Standard stock. Dibble says it does not anticipate completing a merger without Standard Commercial's cooperation. Tonya Harding may go from the ice rink to the wrestling ring. The skater's been offered a $2 million deal from Pro Wrestling. The head of Japan's all-women's professional wrestling association says the embattled figure skater was made to be a pro wrestler. He does say Tonya would have to be a bad guy at first. But then apparently she can become the heroine in the ring.
Does she get to wear the skates while she's wrestling?
I don't know. Could be a weapon in the fighting.
I was just curious. Oh, some stories. Some days are better than others. This wasn't a bad one all in all weather-wise, the way things shaped up today. It kind of got sneaky warm by the afternoon hours, but now the clouds seem to be rolling in. 58 the high at the Roanoke Regional Airport, occurring at about 2 to 3 o'clock this afternoon, and the morning low at 41 degrees. On this date, 1993, it dropped all the way down to 16. Well, the forecast is getting colder, but it's not going to get quite that chilly. 47 now. Winds are calm. Relative humidity at 51%. Pressure holding steady. Forecast details when we come back.
A communications company is networking your data, your images, your life. So no matter where you are,
I'm there.
The same company provides unparalleled service anywhere, anytime. I'm there. It's a company you can rely on with the combined resources, experience, and people of Sprint and Centel.
I'm there.
You got to be there now. Life won't wait. You got to be there now.
News 7 Weather Report is brought to you by Magic City Ford, where you can buy 5 of the top 10 selling vehicles in America.
Here at Magic City Ford, we just had the most fabulous weekend sales event. And because our sale was so successful, we took in several low-mileage, one-owner used cars. So now's a great time to check out the used cars at Magic City Ford. If it's a new vehicle you want, we have 3.9% financing on our 94 Pros. And we have a great selection of our 94 Ranger trucks for only $174 down and $174 a month. So if it's new, used, or service, we have it all at Magic City Ford.
And we've got the temperatures right here around the Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina area. Well, we do have a frontal zone starting to make its approach from the west, but it's going to take a little while to get here. And in the meantime, the winds will be rolling out of the southwest, and it should be a fairly mild day tomorrow. It's really not all that chilly tonight. 45 in Richmond, 40 over in Lewisburg, and 42 in Galax. Also 42 in the Tri-Cities area. With some clouds on the increase, that'll be one reason that the temperatures will be fairly mild this evening. And then for tomorrow, as you can see, the 60s and 50s cover most of Virginia and West Virginia. And in fact, very mild day down over the southeast. It was a record-setting day today in places like Sacramento, where it was 81 degrees. Tomorrow, it looks like Central California will once again be in the 70s and the 80s. So you can tell that the map has sort of changed its flavor a little bit, and it's gone toward warmer temperatures instead of some of the colder numbers. However, these cold numbers back up around the northern plains sort of sag closer and closer to our region for Wednesday and Thursday. Just take up residence for about 48 hours and then clear out of the area. Speaking of clearing out of the area, here's a storm system which brought a trace of rain to the Roanoke Valley, but automated rain gauges showed a little bit more in far southwest Virginia. It was moving through the pre-dawn hours. Then the skies cleared out very nicely down to the southeast, where it was a very pleasant day today. And I think you can see very clearly that mass of clouds right there. That's the leading edge of some cooler air, and it's a little bit drier on the backside. In fact, there's 2 different cold fronts back there. The first one fairly visible here. The second one is very dry, and you can't see it on the satellite imagery, but we'll take a bigger picture and show you that it's located right about here. So there's the second one. There's the first one, and that's going to push the clouds into the forecast area for tomorrow. Now, the storm system spinning around here down over parts of Mexico, and a little bit of cloudiness up in the Pacific Northwest. It shows up on the forecast map this way. 2 fronts to come through. Storm system down here, not a factor in our weather. A couple of lingering rain showers up over the northeast, and maybe even some snow as you head into some colder air there. Get a couple of these through here, and then, once again, we're into the weekend looking pretty sharp. Tonight's overnight lows running at around 40 degrees for most of the metro areas with a partly cloudy skies. And the clouds thicken up tomorrow, and there's an outside chance to be an isolated sprinkle. Most folks will stay dry, and the highs will range anywhere from about 55 to 60 degrees. Cloudy skies tomorrow night, down to about 38. Northwesterly winds at about 15. Sun setting at 6:27. Your midweek forecast is clearing and breezy and cool, with highs only about 45 to 50 degrees. A look now at West Virginia reveals temperatures tonight near 36. A shower possibility for Tuesday with a high of 53. Sharply colder on Wednesday with a high temperature of only 38 degrees. Out at Smith Mountain Lake, it'll be overcast on Tuesday. Winds will be out of the southwest at 10 to 15. Your lake level down not quite a foot. And here's your extended outlook. We'll give you the peak of Tuesday through Saturday. As you can see, conditions improve with time, not only in sky, but also look at the temperatures as we head into the second half of the week.
News 7 Weather Report has been brought to you by Magic City Ford, where you can buy 5 of the top 10 selling vehicles in America.
It's going to get hotter, but I suspect not as hot as Virginia Tech officials were today.
Oh,
yeah.
They were mad, weren't they? With good reason?
Oh, yeah. Hot water. They are not happy. But the Express, they are happy. One of their key players is back. We'll tell everybody about that after the numbers.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lisa Geis, and welcome to the Virginia Lottery's live Cash 5 drawing for Monday, March 14, 1994. As always, our top prize is $100,000, so good luck. We are ready to play Cash 5, and our first number is number 7. Our second number tonight is 23. Our third number is 3. Our fourth number is 4. And our last number is number 9. If you match all 5 of these numbers in any order, you win $100,000 cash all at once. You also can win a prize if you match 3 or 4 of the numbers. The accounting firm of Deloitte & Touche is observing our drawing tonight, and there are those winning Cash 5 numbers in numerical order. Good night.
Here are 2 places that you can improve your home's energy efficiency: the attic
and the basement. Properly insulating your electric water heater will lower your bills.
Adding insulation up here keeps your home more comfortable, and it cuts cooling and heating costs.
If your hot water pipes are in an unheated space, wrap them with foam insulation.
These steps can help us save money and resources together, from top
to bottom.
Now that's smart.
For more smart choices, call Appalachian Power.
Don't miss the Harlem Globetrotters, the world's greatest basketball show.
Coming to the Salem Civic Center March 17th. Tickets on sale at the box office and all Ticketmaster locations.
Well, Roanoke and thousands of local hockey fans have suddenly found a new way to express relief, and the return of Lev Berdichevsky, Roanoke's top goal scorer, hopefully will calm the Express's playoff worries. Just a few hours ago, Berdichevsky arrived at the Roanoke Regional Airport. The Russian, who is being borrowed from the AHL Adirondack Red Wings, will join the Roanoke lineup for tomorrow night's game against South Carolina.
This morning at 10:30, I spoke to Doug McClain, and he agreed with Noel Brown, the coach of the Adirondack, to send Lev Berdichevsky on a game-to-game basis, where Lev would play tomorrow night against South Carolina. And after that, we'll find out Wednesday if he needs to go back, because they're playing Thursday.
Now, while Berdichevsky is arriving, the Redskins' Charles Mann is leaving after 11 years of service. The organization announced that the 4-time Pro Bowl defensive end has been released. Mann has had continual knee problems over the last several years, but has insisted that he wanted to play. Now, Minnesota Vikings quarterback Jim McMahon also joins Mann on the cut list. The organization did not want to pay the injury-prone quarterback's $2.1 million salary in 1994. On to the NBA. Behind Alonzo Mourning's 26 points, the Charlotte Hornets stung the visiting Boston Celtics 107-101 in overtime. All of the Hornets would contribute tonight, but Mourning was the key. Watch the center sting the bottom of the net from way outside. Boston's D. Brown had a response, drilling the three-pointer from the perimeter to close the Charlotte lead. Mourning came right back. Everyone gets out of his way as he flies in for the monster slam. He would have 26. Larry Johnson got into the swing of things, throwing down the dunk, and Charlotte comes on strong to beat Boston 107-101 in overtime. Well, the JMU Dukes will duke it out with the Gators in their first NCAA appearance in Lefty Drizel's era. The Dukes play Florida in the first round Thursday night, but right now Lefty is worried his team is still enjoying last week's dramatic conference win too much.
We had a sorry practice yesterday, and I had to jump on them, and so I hope not, because that wouldn't set too well with me. But it could be that, because there was a lot made out of us winning it, and there, you know, all the publicity and the last-second shot and this and that, and you know, you can't, you know, we're not playing a Mickey Mouse team. We're playing one of the best teams in the country, and so we've got to go in there ready to play and hungry and execute and hope they take us a little light.
Now, Jeff Meyer and the Liberty Flames can ill afford to take their first-round opponent lightly. The Flames play top-seeded North Carolina in the East Regional's opening game Friday at the USA Arena.
Well, I was personally very fortunate because I was sitting down. I had a real immediate rush to the head. I got a little bit lightheaded and dizzy just thinking about Jerry Stackhouse and Eric Montross and Derek Phelps and Dean Smith. It's overwhelming, you know, to think that Liberty University is going to be lining up against the University of North Carolina.
And the Flames have been tabbed as a 10 trillion to 1 shot to win the NCAA tournament. Now, your hometown station will be carrying several games from the first round of the NCAA basketball tournament. Here's a look at that schedule, plus all the numbers from tonight. And so to come, we will tell you about a very special athlete who burned up the track this past weekend, and we will hear from both Liberty and Virginia Tech as both women's programs prepare for the NCAAs.
What do you do when you want to save money? You cut something out? Not just coupons. I mean, you give up things you like? Well, I've got a better way. Revco brand products. They're just as good as national brands, but cost up to 70% less. And each one comes with the full money-back guarantee. Look, the only real difference you'll see is right here. So try Revco brands for the kind of value that makes Revco a friend for life.
When we introduced the Dodge National Minivan Sale, we knew people would like getting great option discounts on the minivan that already meets 1998 car safety requirements. Just like they've always enjoyed air at no extra charge with the Caravan Family Value Package. But when people hear that their savings can total $2,600, well, we're taking appropriate measures. See your nearest Dodge dealer today.
Burst into spring at the 3rd Perennial Lawn, Garden, and Flower Show. Seminars, floral design symposiums, power equipment displays, and more. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, March 18th, 19th, and 20th.
As we shift to the women's side of the NCAA tournament, the news is definitely good for the Tech women. In fact, their first ever NCAA appearance is creating quite a stir around campus. Wednesday night at 7, the Lady Hokies play host to Auburn at Castle Coliseum. Tech is seated 8th in the East Region.
We was thinking we might be higher up, you know, than that, seeing how we beat Southern Miss twice. But we were happy to be seated where we were, and we believe that we have a good chance of beating Auburn.
I'm not that upset that if we win, we have to go to Connecticut. I mean, you're going to have to play. In our bracket, you'd have Connecticut, Carolina, Vanderbilt. Take your choices. How can you say who's better? I mean, they're all very, very good. So I think our big thing is just to be happy that we're playing home.
Tickets for Wednesday's night's NCAA opener are $5 apiece for adults, students, and children. Well, the Radford women are also getting set for their first ever NCAA tournament game. The Big South Conference champs take on Big Ten champion Purdue Wednesday night in West Lafayette, Indiana, in a game that promises to be extremely physical.
The Big Ten Women Conference is very similar to the men. It's known as a very physical conference. It will be a war inside. I think if you don't lose an arm or a leg or a head inside, it's not a foul. So you got to come ready to play. You got to get ready to get after it, and you can't back down from anybody. So that's the kind of ball I like. So we're excited about it.
Good luck to them. And finally, William Fleming's Dominic Kilner hit the big time in track and field yesterday at the National Scholastic Invitational Track and Field Meet in Syracuse, New York. Milner finished second in the long jump with a leap of 24 feet, 3 inches. So congratulations to him.
Yeah,
that is
good for him.
Quite a feat. No pun intended.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Up next on News 7, people who make a run for the border will have to leave their cigarettes at home. And we'll tell you why a Natural Bridge man says the USDA will be pleased when they return tomorrow for a new zoo review.
I think that the Ford Taurus is just a great value.
Listen to why Ford Taurus owners are our best salespeople.
In the past, we bought GM cars, but we moved to Ford with this car. The Taurus is a safe car to me. Number one, we wanted dual airbags. That was important to us. It drives literally as well today as the day that I bought it.
See why Ford Taurus is America's best-selling car at your local Ford dealer.
I just feel safe in it.
Easy Street. I'd like to live
on Easy Street. The people have two things in common: taking it easy and a lawn boy mower. It's easy to change from mulching to bagging. There's even a clever way to help you mow and fertilize at the same time.
Life is sweet for folks who live on
Lawn Boy.
Easy Street.
Making it easier.
Many investors are turning to mutual funds to make money. However, sometimes it's difficult to decide what fund to invest in. Tonight, reporter Stacy Johnson explains why it's hard sometimes to get an accurate reading on the market.
There are so many consumer finance publications that track mutual funds, it's hard to know which, if any, to believe. There are at least 10 different magazines that grade mutual funds, and often they don't even agree. Here's how 5 different publications graded one fund, the Vanguard World International Growth Fund. Business Week gave this fund 3 down arrows, its lowest ranking, but Financial World gave it a B+. Morningstar gave it 4 stars out of a possible 5, and both Money and the Wall Street Journal gave it a D. No wonder investors get confused. These grades were published last year and reported in the AAII Journal. Now, how can 3 funds hate and 2 like the same mutual fund? Well, it's because they grade them in different ways. They all track returns, but some also measure risk. Some follow a fund over 5 years, some 3, some only 1. Some compare a fund's return against the market, some against other funds. And some weight their findings or use special factors before they assign that grade. Now, there isn't a best publication, and there's no best way to rank funds either. There are, however, some things you should look for. Your magazine should rank the fund over at least 5 years, and they should also evaluate risk. But don't just rely on that magazine alone, because it's not the magazine's money you're investing. It's yours. So read a prospectus on the fund before you buy it. I'm Stacy Johnson for News 7.
The restaurant that wants you to run for the border is drawing the line when it comes to smoking. Taco Bell is banning smoking at 3,300 of its company-owned restaurants starting March 28th. The Natural Bridge Zoo lost its operating license over alleged violations of the Animal Welfare Act. The U.S. Department of Agriculture suspended the owner, Carl Mogensen's exhibitor's license in October. A consent decision signed by Mogensen describes 17 different violations. Among them, inspectors found the zoo did not provide enough space for the animals, zookeepers failed to provide uncontaminated food and water, and they did not keep animals in compatible groups.
We have a bunch of inspectors, I'm not going to mention names, that are going overboard. A lot of them couldn't identify half of the species here if we didn't have signs.
Mogensen paid a $6,500 fine, but he says only to get the government off his back. Mogensen said he hasn't tried to get his license reinstated until now because it hasn't affected business. That's because the zoo is closed in the winter. Tomorrow, a USDA inspector will return to the zoo for another look. And finally tonight, deserts are not normally the place for dolphins, but in Las Vegas, a newborn dolphin made its way into the world today. The female calf's being monitored round the clock to make sure she's healthy. The Mirage Resort is home to 6 Atlantic bottlenose dolphins. And that's News 7 at 11. Good night.